you now become that for other people. That's what it's called, each one reach one, right? So now I go back and I help the people. I've had phone calls today at my school. I own a school where I certify CNAs, medical assistants, phlebotomists, EKG techs. I'm helping you to get in this recession proof industry, which is called healthcare. People are always coming, people are always going, people always need some help. I
You
don't care if the
preaching.
government shut down. I need somebody right now for
Yep.
my mama, my daddy, for me, my baby, my kid. I'm getting ready to have a baby, somebody dying, whatever. Recession proof, healthcare. So what God showed me was all the other businesses I had, shut them down.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited. I was just telling them I'm like super excited about this. I've been watching your story, following your story, and I was like, man, we gotta really get this out, especially with you being in Atlanta, because we really need this. But everybody, let's welcome Dr. Ebony. Everybody, let's welcome her here.
Ooh,
No, definitely.
hey.
And I want to, for those who don't know, I really want you to be able to tell them your story, what it is that you've done. Um, one for inspiration, because and feel
Yeah.
free to be as long-winded as you want. They need to hear this. It's super important. So if you can start from start from the beginning, give us your story. And I'm so interested. And I'm gonna be taking notes too, because you're gonna inspire me today too. I'm excited. I'm really
Listen,
excited.
I don't even know where to start it. Started from the bottom. Now I'm here. Going back to humble beginnings.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like I came from being and you say be long winded, so I'm a
Yeah.
speaker and I can speak. I don't know if they're ready for this in just one setting. We'll extend this and go further later, but humble beginnings. Started as a single mom. I was 16 when I had my daughter,
Mm.
and I was one of those type of people that I was a student that had straight A's. I had
Mhm.
straight A's. You wouldn't think Ebony would get no trouble and be having no babies and doing none of that,
Oh,
junior
damn.
high
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
But got pregnant with my daughter, and I was 16 years old. My father wasn't there in my life. And so now as an adult, I, can kind of go back and see and understand more why things happened to me, but had my daughter. My mother was very supportive, at
Mm.
the time. And then I went off to school. I was at the real HU, Howard University, and got pregnant with my second daughter. I keep throwing shots in there too, but
Okay.
got pregnant with my second daughter, and it was just like, what are you doing? You got your head on right, or you think you do, right? But you're
Hmm.
making all these poor choices. And so
Mm.
I got pregnant with my second daughter, and I went home. And I dropped out of college, at that time. And so before I know it, Henry, I had three kids, I had four kids, then I had five kids. Okay. And with two different fathers. So my first two daughters are with the same father, and then my other children after that were with the same father. And so
Okay.
moving through those relationships and having those issues with men, because like I said in the beginning, not having my father present, so something was missing, right? Even
Mm.
though I had the academic side together
Yeah.
and I had the common sense, I didn't have that love relationship with
Mm-hmm.
men that I should have had as a young girl. And so I
Mm.
was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Mm-hmm.
And so making those poor decisions, had my children, and then my mom passed away, and I left from upstate New York and came here to Atlanta for a better life, better living. And that's when things just it went crazy, because me being an only child and losing my mother and not having my father in my life and having all these kids, I felt lonely. I felt in despair. I was by myself, and it was like I couldn't even think. You think I didn't think right when I was 16? I couldn't wrap my mind around what am I going to do? And my mother is not here. My main support system is not here. And that's when I fell into homelessness. And so it's just been a up and down, kind of like an ebb and flow. This happens, what am I going to do? So my story kind of speaks of resilience. Okay, if this happens, what am I going to do to get out of this? You make a pit stop, or you might have to detour, but what's next? You understand what I'm saying? So in all of that, I had to make choices. Of course, came with experience, what came with age, what came with wisdom, right? As well as I got older, I knew how to process this stuff and how to make sense of it all, even with the bad choices that I made. And so here I am now, with my doctorate in nursing, because I didn't stop, regardless of what happened, to me, the poor choices that I made, I didn't stop.
How
It
old
was everything.
how old were you when you were homeless and you were homeless with 5 kids? What was that like? What did it look like? What was going on there?
I was 25
Okay.
when my mom passed. I was 26 when I was homeless in my car. So I was actually in DeKalb County. I was in DeKalb County. I moved from upstate New York to Lithonia, Stone Mountain, Lithonia area.
Hmm.
And I just couldn't keep up. I had more bills than money. I had my kids, I would apply for food stamps, government assistance, WIC. I mean, anything that they had, and that's just how I explained it. Any program that they had, I would qualify for and I applied for. It was that safety net that I needed. But I also felt some type of way because that's not how I was raised, and no shade to people that have to use and utilize, government resources. But I came from a home where my mother was a veteran. My mother took care of everything. My mother worked for General Motors. So did my father. I did too for a little bit of time. So I came from a different type of background. Like we weren't, just succumbing to having to sit on these resources. And so that was hard for me. It was very hard for me to be 26 years old on government assistance and living in my car. So I was in nursing school at the same time, and I ended up failing nursing school because it was just too much. It was too much going on. It was a lot of burden, and I was carrying and trying to take care. All my kids were under 12 years old. So they're not understanding, right? They can't process I can't go outside, or we don't have a key to actually turn into a door, and we have to go play at the park all day. You know what I'm saying? Until it gets dark, and then get back in the car. And then I would go park behind Walmart on 78 and sit behind Walmart until my kids fell asleep. I reached out to homeless shelters. I reached out to women's shelters here in Atlanta, and they all told me my family size was too large. We don't have a place for somebody with this amount of children. Or they would tell me, well, homeless people don't have cars. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? This is the only thing that I have left after losing apartment after apartment, and so we just ended up in the car. And that's what that looked like, from taking the food stamps and making sandwiches in the car to washing my kids in Walmart. I did get child support from one of my children's fathers, so I would take that money, go to the laundromat, wash their clothes, fold them up, put them in the back of my car. When they nice and hot is when you fold them, because we ain't had
Hmm.
nowhere to iron them.
Hmm.
The kids back then were wearing uniforms, so it was, that helped out a whole lot too. And so it was just every day. It was something. It's like I had to focus on today because we didn't know what tomorrow may bring.
See,
And my
that's so interesting, and I see that. I agree. Homeless people don't have cars is for what Agent Grocer said. It's crazy work. Like that's insane. Like, and it's so interesting now, particularly being in Atlanta. And I watch. I'm not a super political person. I just kind of believe, whatever it is, what it is. But I do notice that we've got significantly reduced homeless shelters in the city. We fed like 2,000 seniors a couple months ago. And I was like, none of y'all have anywhere to go. And they were telling us how they like knocked down all the homeless shelters and built all these high rise condos that now they're selling for 400, 500, $600,000. And I'm like, okay, so back then they weren't let you in. And so now they're just knocking them all down. So what happens when they've knocked all those down from your experience in being homeless?
Well, when they knock them down, we left to be in the car, or you're going home to home, right? From friends' houses to your family members, if you have them. Unfortunately for me, my family was back at home in Buffalo, and I
Hmm.
didn't want to go back to that. I had a cousin that was here, first cousin, and she actually told me that she prayed about it, and God told her that me and my kids couldn't come to her house. You know what I'm saying? So you're left to be in your car or under a bridge somewhere, right? If you can pay for a night. We didn't have Airbnbs back then. So maybe you
Right.
pay for a night at the motel. This ain't no
Yeah.
glorious hotel now. You got
Right.
a little small, a Best
Uh,
Western. That's the best that you can do. So we ended up, my story goes, I was going to New Birth Church, and they found out that me and my kids were in the car because I was coming every week. Every week. One thing I didn't stop doing was going to church. And
amen.
they found out, that we were in the
Hmm.
car, and the bishop came outside. He saw my stuff out there, and he was like, "Oh no, this ain't gonna happen." But how many people does that really happen for? I just had to happen to be one in a million, and that was a blessing for me and my kids. But how many people are in that same situation and don't have anybody to save them? Nobody to come out and say, "We'll help you." And so the church did. They reached out, they helped us, they got us into a motel on Panola Road. I was in a little motel
I
on
know
Panola Road.
Latonia now. I know Latonia. I
Yeah,
know
that was
Latonia.
east side is the best side. So that
Okay.
was my spot.
Okay. All right.
That was my spot. My whole transition here in Atlanta was DeKalb County. Okay. And so we were in the motel. We stayed there for about a month and a half. And then they told us to find a place. And I did. Right behind the Walmart on Panola, there were some apartments called Farrington Ridge. And we had a 2-bedroom little townhome. Now it's a little crazy back there now, but we had
Yeah.
a little two-bedroom townhome over there, and the church helped out and paid for it. And so that
Mm.
helped me because it relieved some of that tension and that stress so I can finish nursing school. You
How?
know,
I guess my question though, like, I understand this. I don't understand that, but how are you navigating this with 5 kids, right? I think that's where it's like mind-boggling to me. I know they got to go to school, they got to take showers because they can't go to school nasty, right? So
right?
how do you navigate all of that? What does that process look like?
It looks like survival mode. It looks like you sacrificing yourself for your kids,
Hmm.
meaning that you're not sleeping, you're not really taking care of yourself, you don't have nobody to take the kids off your hands so that you can get a break. It looks like getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, right, to
Hmm.
make sure that they're good. It looks like you sacrificing your sleep because when you in your car, I did have one of the shelters downtown, the Atlanta shelter said that they would take us, but come on, that's a co-ed shelter, and I had 2 daughters. I'm like, we can't do
Can't
that.
do
So I
that.
was more protected in my car,
Yeah. Yep.
and so
Yep.
that's why I just stayed in my car, and that was the only shelter that would accept us. And so we stayed behind Walmart. I would get them up, and it was a very rigorous schedule that I had to be on. You know what I'm saying? It
Hmm.
was chop, chop, chop because and I think that came from just my raising. That came from my mother being very militant. I was an only child. And so I knew to do certain stuff and to be consistent and persistent and disciplined when I did it. Meaning that as I got older and got into this situation, okay, we got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to walk them in Walmart and wash them up, right? Taking their clothes in there. Again, I tell people this is when Walmart was open 24/7. This is before COVID. Walmart's
Hmm.
closes now.
They used
So
to
you
be
can
open,
walk
yeah.
in Walmart, yeah, all night,
Hmm.
and I wash them up. They get in the car. I would take them to ProLink. I don't, it's called, no, Pro Way Barbershop on Memorial Drive. They would cut my son's hair for $2.
They still
Got
open?
that
They still
haircut.
open?
They
Are they
still
still?
open.
We're
They
gonna go.
still
We,
open.
I'm gonna. Yeah, we're gonna make a
Yeah.
donation to Pro Wave. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
they would cut
Memorial
my
Drive.
boy's
All right.
hair. Like I said, I was tapping into resources. Like
Okay.
you gotta make it work. It has to work or it has to work. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I had to. My kids, I would get go to the back to school drives. How did they get their book bags? Back to school drives at the churches. We got donations from different food banks and stuff like that. And so you just had to put it together all night.
Yeah.
You up trying to just figure it
Trying to
out.
figure it out. Trying to figure
My
it out.
kids would go. I had daycare assistants, and so
Mm.
with daycare assistants, they pay for your kids to go to childcare. So I knew that they was gonna pick the kids up from school. The kids are in daycare until 6:30. Well, I go get them at 6:30. Shout out to Good Foundation Academy over there in Stone Mountain, okay? Because that was it for me. That my kids went there for 10 years. They knew the entire story. And so they would go there, they would pick them up from school. I get them at 6:30. We take them over to the park. They go to the park, they play until it got dark because they're kids, right? They just want to play. Then I take them over to Walmart and we there. Most at this time, kids love snacks. You take them food stamps, you go into Walmart, you go buy them a whole bunch of snacks. They don't care what's happening. You understand what I'm saying? So that right there was our life. That was our life for 3 months.
How did your kids perform in school during this time? Right. What was that like for them?
Very good. One thing I would say, being that I was an only child and they were together, they were together. I
Mm-hmm.
never lost one of my children. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I let the school know, hey, we homeless right now. And so with that, they could not transfer their schooling. Okay. They could not change their schooling. There's some program that they have when you're homeless, they have to stay at their school. And by the way, went to the defects office, told them I was homeless. I had the caseworker tell me, shh, be quiet. Don't tell nobody that because we can take your kids from you. I'm like, I'm looking for help. I'm saying this because I need assistance. So these are the different, doors that I faced that were closed, in my face, literally. And so my kids had straight A's, because they had each other. I wouldn't say they were happy because of the situation, but they had
Sure.
peace, they had joy, they had their
Sure.
mom, they had each other. You understand what I'm saying? And they were small enough that they just wanted mom. They just wanted to be with each other. They just want to play. You know what I'm saying? Kids want to play. I took them to the park all day. They got out of
Yeah, no,
daycare.
I get it.
We going to the park.
I
We go
I
to
love
Walmart. You
that.
get them some snacks. And
Yeah,
then we get in the car. And like I said, because they were at the daycare, they were doing their homework at the daycare, you
got
know,
you. And so you transitions, right? So all of this happened while you're actually in nursing school.
in nursing school.
So then now you're a nurse practitioner.
Yes.
So can you explain once you got out of homelessness, you finished nursing school, give us kind of the track, like what does that look like? Because a lot of people are wondering. Let me say this for all the MDs or DLs. I am pro MP. I am pro PA. I'm one of those people. I'm just gonna
Okay.
put that out there because I know they hate that, but I really am because I believe that in the future, particularly with Medicare costs and the things that we are having to get reimbursed for and the cost not really rising with the cost of labor, I do think nurse practitioners will win long term over MDs, but that's my opinion. You go become an MP. What was that process like? You come out of homelessness. What does that look like?
So that looked like me failing nursing school one semester, right? So
Ooh,
that's what I told you. I
ooh,
failed nursing school one semester. I had to wait an entire year to get back into the program. Okay.
okay,
It wasn't like these online programs and stuff like
sure,
that 15 years
sure,
ago. I got back into the program and I failed. This time I said, you know what? I got to make it. I got to do what I have to do. I even told my
yeah.
kids because we now in an apartment. I said, listen, y'all got to take care of what I got to take care of. My oldest daughter held it down. I'm like, y'all got to do what you got to do because mom has to study. And at the time I was working at Grady Hospital as a PCT on the floor. So I'm working, I'm in school, and I got these kids. Okay.
Shout out
And
to
so what it
Grady.
looks yeah, shout out to Grady. So what it look, I need a sponsorship from Grady too. But what it looks like
And
is
I might, I'll make a call. But shout out to Grady.
make it happen. Make it
Shout out to
happen.
Grady.
I'll tell you that story offline, but I got a
Okay,
story I did with Grady
okay,
too. You
all
can look it
right.
up, Google it. So I get out of nursing school. I passed my exam, and I was at Grady. So that was my first nursing job in the emergency department. And then I left there. I got my bachelor's. I got my master's. I got my postmaster's.
Mm,
Okay. And then I got my doctorate in nursing during COVID. So we were out, traveling, doing COVID work. And I got my doctorate in nursing from Georgia State University. So I wasn't playing. When that door opened, I ran. So when
yeah,
I got my associate degree, I just kept going. I kept going and I didn't stop. I just got my family nurse practitioner postmasters in August. So we in October.
congratulations,
I just got that in
congratulations,
August. Thank you. So when I
congratulations.
tell you I don't play, that
Yeah,
door opened and I ran for it. And that's what I try to tell people. Just get the door open, get the
yeah.
window open, go through the chimney. I don't care what you got to do. Just make it happen. It has to work. And you have to make a plan and devise a plan. Sit down and strategically, the Bible tells us to make a plan. You understand what I'm saying? You have to plan. And once you make that plan, go for it. And even if you deviate off of it, get back on it. You
Mm,
understand what I'm saying? And that's
yeah.
what it looked like for me.
It's funny. So I'm reading this book. Well, I read a book a week. So I just last week I read the book, A Purpose Driven Life. And one of the things it does talk about is like this plan, and your plan has to trust God. And you speak to God a lot. And it's really interesting to hear that because I'm a man of faith, and I believe that people who have faith in something,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, they just can keep going. They know somebody's going to help me. There's something out there. There's a spirit of divine sense of something that's going to help me. So that is so, for one, your story, like I said, was going to inspire me, right? I wouldn't call myself lazy by any means, but I didn't have that, and it's just to see what you've accomplished now, going through that, is truly a testament to, you said, to resilience. My question for you is, having gone through that, right? What are you doing now to help pull others up who may be in similar situations, or what can we as a community? How can I help pull some of those people up and put them in better places?
Well, one, I have a mentorship. Okay. So what I've
Okay.
done, I don't necessarily do it right now, but what I've done in the past is I've coached and I mentor several women. Some of them are on here right now. Because that's my gift back to the community. That's my gift back to the kingdom. I didn't get here haphazardly. I didn't get here by myself. God always placed those ram in the bush for me. Like I said, the church, different people, right? Even when I went to nursing school, I have specific instructors that I know I can call their names. Some of them
Yep.
said you ain't gonna make it, but I had some of them that said you gonna make this, okay?
Yeah.
And they sat on my dissertation team when I did my DMP because I was like, I need you with me because you was with me when I was crying and I was failing. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. There you
So
go.
you
Hmm.
now become that for other people. That's what it's called. Each one reach one, right? So now I go back and I help the people. I've had phone calls today at my school. I own a school where I certify CNAs, medical assistants, phlebotomists, EKG techs. I'm helping you to get in this recession proof industry, which is called healthcare. People are always coming, people are always going, people always need some help. I
You
don't care if the
preaching.
government shut down. I need somebody right now for
Yep.
my mama, my daddy, for me, my baby, my kid. I'm getting ready to have a baby, somebody dying, whatever. Recession proof, healthcare. So what God showed me was all the other businesses I had, shut them down. Shut them down. He said, you
Mm.
open this school and you make a way because I showed you the way. So I call myself the modern day Harriet Tubman. I know the way, but everybody ain't going to trust me. Everybody ain't going to believe me. And the ones that do, I'll show you to the promised land. And so what I do is when I certify them, they not only get certified in 4 weeks for CNA, medical assistant, phlebotomy, and EKG tech. Medication aid is 3 days, and medical assistant is 14 weeks. But once they're certified, I show them how to open up their own LLC, become an entrepreneur, sell scrubs, go over here, open your own school, be a mobile phlebotomist, right? Have a
Hmm.
podcast, do
Hmm.
something, but you always have this certification that took you 4 weeks that nobody can take from you. It took me years, right? But if
Hmm.
you can do this in 4 weeks, can
Mm.
nobody take this from you? Whether the
I love
government shut
this.
down or
Yep.
anything happens,
I
you
love
have
this.
that certification. You are a boss in 4 weeks, okay? Then, not even just with that, I show them if you want to go on to nursing school, right? Now, I can't help you when you want to be a respiratory therapist and an ultrasound tech, but if you want to be an LPN or RN, let's go. I'm about to show you that road too because I am connected with a lot of the universities here in Atlanta. I know a lot of these nursing directors and different things like that, and they know Dr. Ebonee, trust me.
Oh,
And
we
so
believe you.
that I know is my calling. You got to find what your calling is. And
Your
once I
purpose in life.
found it, I
Hmm.
tapped into it. So what I'm doing right now, Henry, is I am trying to raise $25,000 to send
Okay.
single moms through the program. Those moms, right? I get DMs all day, and I get them from women just all over. Okay,
Okay.
but it's the single moms that I have a heart for because that was once me. Okay, I love all the women, but these single moms, trust me, sis, I know. So my goal is to raise $25,000. This is outside of WIOA program, the workforce development program, outside of all of these government entities. We as a community, as a body, as entrepreneurs, as an individual, we can come up with $25,000. I can get multiple and masses these moms certified and get them employment, right? And get them off. These CNAs can make anywhere from $25 to $40 an hour. They can go to an agency making $40 an hour. You understand what I'm saying? I have women DMing me, and I just posted this. If y'all don't believe me, check my post on my page. DMing me saying, "Hey, I'm stripping right now just to feed my kids, or I lost my children. I want to take
Hmm.
this CNA program and change my life, but I need the people. I need us because I can't do it by myself. I've done it. I've offered scholarships and I paid for it out of my pocket, but I can't do it by
Can't
myself.
do
And
it forever.
I have faith.
You got to
I
stay in
need
business,
trust.
though. You got to stay in
It's
business.
right,
Hmm.
right, because the lights got to get paid
Yeah.
for. I got a brick and mortar, so
And you
I
got, yeah.
trust
Hmm.
that God is going to supply and the money is going to come. And before you know it, we're going to have this free program and we'll be able to get so many people certified and get them employment.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. How much is one person to go through your program?
One person for a CNA is $12.50. And
Okay.
I got four girls right now I know by name that is in my DM, and I don't even know if they on here right now. They are trying. I mean, calling me crying, literally.
Yeah.
It's to the
Yeah.
point where I want to match the people that say I'm going to donate. I want to match them with the students so that they know this is the person that I've helped. You know how back in the day at 4 o'clock in the morning they had the little African children on the show, and you knew where you thought you knew this where your money was going. I want people to know I helped so and so. You understand what I'm saying? And then I want them to come back later and say, Dr. Ebonee, just because I started here at Promise Health, look where I'm at today. To me, I can go to sleep at night and I know God will tell me, well done, my good and faithful servant.
How often do you have your classes? Is it every month, every semester?
Every month. Yep,
Okay,
every
so
month.
this is what we're gonna do. And so my grandfather raised me for the most part. Mom was a single mom. So I'm and it's interesting because I was just telling everybody his birthday is October 8th and he just passed 3 months ago.
Oh,
What
I'm
we
sorry.
did about a month ago was we started the Reverend L.K. Curry Scholarship Initiative. So you said one kid is 1250. So what we'll do one this month and we'll do one next month. So you find us two single moms. Yeah. We'll do because I think one of the things that I say this a lot is I'm good. My son is good. It's
Yeah,
not we're not
yeah.
worried about that at all. And so if I can use that scholarship to bless two people who I like the single moms. If they're single moms and they need help, I got them. Yeah, send me
Oh,
two
you
of
gonna
them.
make me cry.
Yeah,
You ain't
nah, it's
know
cool.
that.
It's cool. It's not. It's really because it's like these
Oh,
healthcare companies. We could all do it. Let me be very clear with everybody,
yes,
right? We all got the money to do it, and that's why we have a responsibility to help those who are coming up. And honestly, we got like 7 CNA openings, so maybe these two people
oh
can leave
my
there and come straight over here to work. So
God. Okay,
yeah,
so I need you to know these women. Okay, we'll talk
yeah,
about it offline. But when I tell
yeah.
you she had, and I'm a crybaby, so you didn't tell me
It's
you was
all
doing
good.
this.
Nah,
I'm
it's
actually
all
gonna
good.
come
It's
off
all
and
good.
everything.
It's
But
all good.
when I
Yeah,
tell you, oh my God, oh my
I
goodness,
got you. It's all good.
I'm so mad with you right now.
Nah, it's all good.
Oh,
When they showed me your story and we started our
oh,
scholarship initiative, like we've been looking for great stories to do and this one just makes so much sense to me. It's right along with what we do. My grandfather would have been he and so they owned a private school in Chicago. So this was right aligned with like what he wanted to do and I'm just super excited about it. So if
yeah.
you send me one whenever your next cohort is, send me one and the following cohort send me one and we'll sponsor two people. Yeah, I want to meet them, but yeah, we'll
Yeah,
do
you,
that.
you gonna meet them because I tell you, she has been in my DM. She came to the
I got
school.
it.
Listen, I posted her story the
Yeah.
other day. You know, like I asked her, I said, "Is it okay?" I said, "I'm gonna get this money for you." I didn't know where it was coming from. I was like, "I'm gonna get this money." I am
Yeah,
so mad with you right now.
it's all good.
But I'm so we gonna talk offline. I'm so mad
Yeah,
with
I
you.
got you. I got
But
you.
I told her, I said, we gonna get this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I literally today talked to about three people. Same thing. I was at New Birth Church telling this story 2 weeks ago. A young lady was on the stage. I got so many people messaging me. They were like, "Are
Hmm.
you at the church? Are you at the church?" I said, "No, I'm in the bed," and they were
Yeah.
like, "I need you
Yeah.
to get here." It was a girl I met on social media. She's on
Yeah.
the stage talking about my school. And she was like, "Can you get here in 30 minutes?" I get there in like 45 minutes. And I tell my story on a stage. And when I tell you, it was a flood of women, a
Yeah.
flood of them coming. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, it's like how in the Bible says, you got this loaf of bread. God, how am I feeding all these
Yeah.
people? But
Yep.
I trust you. We
Yeah.
gon' you gonna do it. I don't know
Yeah.
how you gonna
Yeah.
do it, but you gonna do it. So I want you to meet these two young ladies. It's four of them, but we're gonna keep going. I know we
We're
can
gonna
do
keep
it.
yeah, we make it work.
Somebody, a partner, somebody in here just said if they need a job, they're at Piedmont. Please reach out to me. Please follow me. Please send me a DM. I
Yeah.
am literally in these streets trying to make sure that I have the partnerships that we need. I have the people. I am not these big corporations. I am who I am. And I'm not trying to be, these big major corporations, but we're going to get there. We're going to grow and we're going to get there. So,
I'm excited and I'm excited for you. And today was a lucky one because I wasn't expecting all of this, but it's so aligned with our mission and what we're trying to do. And then we'll talk, because the other part of that is that they're in school full time. How are they gonna actually provide for their kids and everything while they're doing that? So we'll figure out a plan for them, something that we can make it work. Because I don't want them to like have to drop out because they got to make sure their kids can eat too. So we'll get with you about that and figure out how to make it work. But yeah, no, don't worry about it. Trust me, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Listen, and I just put these lashes on. You just got me. So I'm serious. Like right before I talked to you, I was like, okay, let me try to be cute or something. But it ain't
No,
even
no,
worth
don't do
it. I'm
that.
trying
Don't
to
do.
hold my composure right now because
Yeah, you're
when I
good.
tell you, and this is what happened to me when I was
Yeah,
going through it. God would always put somebody,
yeah,
something. I remember one lady, she put $20 in my hand when I was at church, and that $20 felt like 20 million because I have it.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
to be where I am, and it's expensive,
yeah,
having a
yeah,
business, and I got 10 kids now, and just life, and it was being in school myself and having to pay for that. It's not easy, and so you only can do what you can do. So I so appreciate it from the bottom of my
yeah,
heart.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And
You are a blessing.
it's one of those things. And with you, I'm excited for you. I'm gonna anything I can do for your business as well. We're gonna help you get there. I think that's and I see some people talking about the mentorship in the thing, which is not what this is about, but we do that. And I think that for me, I can help get your story out there. That's what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna help you. Like, and I see you, and that's why I talk to people before we come on here, because I gotta know who I'm gonna help on.
I am, when I see you, when I tell you, oh my gosh. And it's crazy because like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I saw a billboard with you on it downtown
Don't
Atlanta.
no no shh, don't do that. Don't do that. No,
Billboard.
don't do that. Don't
And
do
I
that.
said, oh, here's the funny part. I told the lady at the Chamber of Commerce, because I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and her and I
Uh-huh.
are very, very connected. And I told her, I said, I'm going to have billboards, with me and my story on it so I can just drive these girls. I'm
Yeah.
talking about they coming in drives because they see
Yeah.
themselves in me. And she said, so what you waiting for? I said, I don't got the money. And it wasn't a couple weeks later, I saw your billboard. I ain't lying to you. I said, Lord, I know it's going to be billboards coming down
Yeah.
285, DeKalb County.
You
You
could do
understand
it.
what I'm saying?
You could
Let's
do it.
do it. Like,
You
and
could
it's
do it.
when I tell you, oh my God, Henry,
You
I
could do
got
it.
to see you.
You could do it.
I am a woman of my word. I am
Hmm.
anybody that knows my heart knows that I have a servant's heart. I've always had a servant's heart. Always had a servant's heart. That's what makes me who I am. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? That's where I get my blessings from. God didn't get me here to just be quiet. He got me
Hmm.
here to tell my story and how did I get here and help others. So I so appreciate it. And I can't
Peace.
wait to get off this call so
It's
I can
cool. And we're gonna wrap it up. Any last things you want to leave for people? We're good.
woo,
I'm with you. Like I said, my mom. I grew up single mom. I know how hard that is. And even trying to get me through Morehouse, like I know what that looks like. I know what that feels like. So, I want you to definitely text me, and I'm gonna put you with Jessica at the office so we can kind of coordinate that. And also, like I said, the kids got to eat while she's doing this because she's probably not gonna be working. So we'll make it so it's not a huge burden on them. And then I want them to feel it a little bit, but I don't want them to not be able to finish the program. So
right.
we're gonna do what we can. Any
Yeah.
last words for everybody?
Whew, trust God.
Trust
Have
God.
faith.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop. If anybody, if you want to contact me, my information is on social media. So follow me right above you, Dr. Ebonee Empowers. You can follow me. Hey, Dr. Donna. So Dr. Donna also yesterday she donated. Yesterday she was my very first person to donate yesterday because I remember I was telling you I did some
Shout out Dr.
donations.
Donna.
Dr.
Okay.
Donna, yes, and she was the first person, and I said, "Look at God." And so, follow me on social media, Dr. Ebonee Empowers. You can also email me. You can call me at the school. Follow Promise Health Medical Institute. We getting ready to do some crazy things here in Georgia. When I
Yeah.
tell you it's about to go big, major, this is what we're getting ready to do.
I got you. Okay, I love it. So yeah, we'll do that. And I'll get right on it, and then we're gonna follow Dr. Donna because I want to see her story now. She's donating, so I'm excited about that.
Yes,
But for everyone who don't know, I want to thank everybody for coming. I try not to keep y'all longer than 30 minutes. I know the attention span ain't there, but this was impactful. And you have my number, so text me immediately so we can get on it. We can get the ball rolling, and we can get two people in as soon as possible.
yes, let's do it.
All
Let's do it.
right, peace. Love
Thank
y'all.
you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Uh,
Bye bye.